Hi everyone. It's been about 6 months since my last video, and I thought it was time that I kind of chimed in and went ahead and did some updating. Although I know that Doug has been doing a fantastic job of keeping everybody posted. So you probably already know that we are now at the stage of kind of a maintenance where I am going every five weeks or so to Baltimore for an endoscopy um, and a procedure that they call a scope and stretch, which sounds really aerobic, except I'm basically unconscious for the whole thing. But basically, they're just stretching out my esophagus because of the swelling and scarring. And they say that it can take up to a year to go through this process before we'll be able to do any kind of real scans that kind of can confirm that the cancer is gone like they think it is. So we're just kind of in a routine, and I've gotten to the point now where I have the opportunity to kind of reflect on the past 6 months and what's been going on and where I'm at. And I've definitely come to the realization that I've learned a lot through this process. For one thing, I have come to the realization that I have been way more vain than I'd ever like to admit. And having to go through things like, losing your hair and scars on the neck and these things, just really kind of make you aware of just how silly, some of my priorities have been. And thinking about, what has bothered me or worried me or upset me in the past. And that kind of led to the second realization that while so much of my time before my diagnosis, I would find myself feeling very overwhelmed, feeling very, my to-do list was so long and so on and so forth. But I finally came to the realization that my overwhelm had a lot more to do with my attitude than it did with my to-do list. So I now am basically doing all the same things that I was doing before my diagnosis, still wife and mother and daughter and, college professor and department chair. And, I'm doing speaking engagements and different workshops out in the community, still working with faith-filled women and have that passion. All of those things, none of that's changed. But the way that I approach them, the way that I approach things is so different. And learning that there are really so very few things that need me to get, riled up about. So I've come to that appreciation of perspective. And the third thing was actually something that I learned a long time ago, or I heard a long time ago, that now makes so much more sense. We had a speaker in at Faith-Filled Women several years ago named Carol Kent. And Carol Kent was a national best-selling Christian author, and her son ended up being sentenced to prison. And she spent the last 17 years with her son in prison, visiting him in the holidays and so on and so forth. And basically just turned her life upside down. And she made the comment that she likes who she is now better than who she was before all this tragedy happened. And I look at this now and I go, I really get that. I like who I am now so much more than who I was before. And I don't believe that I was cursed with this, with cancer, or that this was somehow a lesson that was sent to teach me something. But I do believe that God has been able to use this experience to really squeeze a lot of junk out of me. And I had way more junk than I even realized. So basically, I think it's because I now see all of these blessings that I already had. All of these things I already had. I already had a wonderful family and a great husband and two wonderful sons that I am so incredibly proud of. I always had supportive colleagues and a stable job and good health insurance and just all these things. I already had them. But now I see them and I appreciate them and I am so grateful for them. Just like I am so grateful for all of you in following along with this journey and the cards and the love and the hugs and the support and everything else. I am just so very, very grateful. And I just wanted to say thank you. And I love you. And I just can't imagine going through this without you. Thanks.